Hello everybody, it's McAllister from Traxxion Dynamics. I'm here today to kind of do a follow-up part 2 to installing the Kuryakyn Omni driver's highway pegs kit. In the first kit, we were going through the installation process and did a little video, and we came across a defect in one of the parts that kind of stopped me from finishing the job. And it was a hole drilled and machined in the wrong place for one of the brackets. So later that day I contacted Kuryakyn support, and they did call me back. And although it took some convincing to get them to send me a part because I'm not the customer, I'm the guy doing the install. After me saying, hey, you should check out my YouTube channel, about an hour later I got an email, oh, we're going to send you that part now. So okay, so thanks Kuryakyn, you send me the part. So the part came, it was good news. And I turned it over, and the bracket that didn't fit now fit. But the part they sent me was one someone had dropped on the floor, and it had a ding in the metal, and the powder coating was chipped. So I didn't want to put that on the guy's brand new bike. So what I did was I modified the defective part enough that it works fine. And so now we've got this. So then I got back on the phone with Kuryakyn and said, hey, you know, the replacement part that you guys sent me was damaged. And so the guy said, okay, yeah, but here's the bad news. There are no more parts, and they've kind of pulled all the inventory of this. They're not happy with them, and so they're sending them back to the manufacturer or the factory where I guess they have them made, and they're going to have them remade. So the next time we can get a replacement part for this will be sometime in July, was all I was told. So anyway, I've got this one finished and bolted up, but I did learn a couple more tricks in the process of fiddling with it. I saw another video someone sent me on the internet of a guy putting some on, and his went right on easily, whereas mine didn't align well. And so that turned out to be, I guess, the luck of the draw. But what I did find is if you come under here, if yours don't line up, on the right side of the bike it's pretty easy. You can loosen Kuryakyn's bolt here, which has got a 13 millimeter or half inch head actually, because it's an American bolt with metric threads. And then there's the stock Honda 12 millimeter head bolt. If you loosen those, you can push the entire bumper bracket forward, take the slack out of the holes, and it will help to align the Kuryakyn part. It still won't be perfect, but it's vastly improved. And you know, you may need another person. You may want to push on it. This one moved pretty easy, and then I retightened it. The one on the left side I had a much harder time with, and it is a little bit trickier. I can't even show you where the bolt is, but you can stick a 12 millimeter wrench up in this hole, and the head of the bolt is kind of where the tip of my index finger is. So you can do little 16th turns with a 12 millimeter wrench. And this is again the half inch American headed bolt. And on this one, I got someone to help, and I kind of sat here and put my foot, and I, put a lot of pressure forward while he tightened the hardware. And that improved it a little bit. We minimized that gap, and it did help the bodywork fit a little bit better. But then interestingly, just from me pushing on this real hard, the foot peg loosened up a lot. So one good tip for everybody is before you go out on a trip, if you have new driver's pegs and highway pegs and things like that, is put some weight and pressure on them, flex them, like put them through their paces, sit on the seat, and you're going to push back and put a lot of pressure on them and to stretch your legs and relax. So do that before you leave, and then go back and tighten every bolt. So I was able to snug these right down and get them to where they have a drag again, which is good and no problem. But you don't want this obviously loosening up and going, on the highway. So, and then trying to mess with tools going down the road is a problem. And don't forget, all of this hardware is American. So you're not likely to carry American and metric tools on your bike necessarily. And then there's one other oddity about this, and I hate to ruin this for people because it's probably going to mess with people's heads. depending on the brand of highway pegs you've got, no one engineering these has figured out that the crash guards are not symmetrically located on the two sides of the bike. So if you put, and these Kuryakyn ones are just like that. I don't know if I'll be able to show it to you from the top. I'm gonna see if you can pass the camera up and you might be able to see it. Yeah, I think you might be able to see it. Let me see this camera. Actually, I'm gonna hold this in, I'm gonna take it loose. Sorry about this, folks. I'm just gonna see if you can see here. Yes, you actually can see. Look down at the left highway peg. It's backwards, you know, some distance from the right highway peg. So that's because the cylinders on the engine are offset. You know, they're not actually straight across from each other. It's impossible to build an engine that way. So you will notice as you ride that your left peg is more backwards than your right peg. So what somebody doing this needs to do to properly engineer it, you need a dedicated left extension arm that is a different length than the dedicated right extension arm. So these are the same part on both sides, but they need to be, they need to make something special there. So anyway, here I'm gonna hand this back to my cameraman. But anyway, now that that's all installed, you know, certainly looks nice. And but I guess Kuryakyn's going to do some things to refine it. They weren't happy with it either, so they're going to refine it and re-release it, I guess, and keep an eye out for that. So, but if you've already got these, and you can follow some of these tips I've given you, and I'm sure when they re-release it, the installation is going to be the same. Hopefully, they'll just refine it and it'll fit better and be more more neat as it goes in. All right, so my name's Max. Please like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel, do all that kind of stuff, and I'll keep this cool content coming, and I'll keep an eye out. I'm going to make a lot of progress on the big 2021 Mega Build bike here over this weekend, and I'll update you on that as I go.